College Game Day is covered by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state.
You know, bluegrass basketball is the purest kind. It just flows into the hollers from the hills, fills the heart of every Kentuckian. No wonder this program has more victories in the books and trips to the big dance than any other. The best minds and motivators all covet this coaching job. Everyone down the line, looking to fill some mighty big shoes, worn by the man for whom they named the arena. His legacy lives on in every corner of this place, like what they call the eruption zone, where the students stand as one. Kentucky blue runs through their veins. The purest form of the game is played at Rupp Arena.
Coming into the day, Joe Lunardi had Kentucky as the first team to be left out of the NCAA tournament, so the Wildcats have some work to do. They're inventing themselves without Nerlens Noel. And here is Alex Poitras, wildly talented, but Jay, he hasn't scored in double figures since January 29th against Ole Miss.
Well, he's got to be aggressive on the defensive end and on the glass first, and whenever he gets the opportunity to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket, that's a real strength of his. If he settles for jump shots, he's going to have some issues.
And without Noel in the lineup, now the job description a little different for Willie Cauley-Stein.
I think he found out after Tennessee, just be who I am. Well, he was the other night against Vanderbilt. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 crucial blocks at the end of the game, and 1 key rebound at the end of the game to win against Vandy.
Calipari says Willie Cauley-Stein can emerge someday and beat King Kong. Right now, Cal with Sam Ponder.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, I lost count of the number of times you told your players during practice to just do their job. Against Missouri, what are the jobs that are most important in order to get this win?
Well, you know, Pressie's really good, and you got to keep him out of the lane. You're not going to do that on every possession. But our point guard, you know, Ryan's going to have to get 14 points around that. I always say you got your point guard got to score some points. You can't just be a facilitator. I think this is a big game for Alex. Alex is that matchup is a good matchup if he'll really get after it. I love what Willie said. Willie said, "Look, I'll do my job if everybody else does theirs, but I'm not King Kong. Don't just throw me the ball when you don't want to make a play." So those are the things we're addressing. Like, everybody's got a responsibility. If you're not making shots, who cares? Play. Just keep playing.
Obviously a different team the last couple of games, maybe looking for an identity this time of year. Every coach talks about it being a must-win game these days, but what are the things that you specifically want to see your group show you tonight?
Well, you say must-win. It's a big game because it's the next one on the schedule for us, where we are. I would tell you if we lost this and ran the table, I'd be happy. This game for us is the identity you're talking about. Let's establish what we're going to do. Let's establish a little more toughness. Let's establish that we're going to talk more, that we're going to battle and fight. If we do that in this game, it's going to propel us where we want to go. Now, what would be nice if you do that and win. But the reality of it is, for us, we've got to just continue to build because, again, we're a new team a week old.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing it. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Reese?
Sam, John, thanks a lot. Calipari's been terrific at Rupp Arena. His first 3 seasons here, he was undefeated. They lost to Baylor non-conference and then lost their first SEC game under Cal to Texas A&M earlier. And by the way, just handed a note by a researcher of the Bull, Joe Lunardi, reporting Kentucky wins this game. They go from first team out to last team in. Stakes are high. Billis loves it when the dynamics in the abacus moves right at the last minute. Former Kentucky coach Rick Pitino leading Louisville against Seton Hall. Alluded to this game earlier. Russ Smith. Oh, get some friendly weekend bounces. 19-5. The Bill up by 8.
Big guy.
Gorgie Jane.
10 for 11 in the field, 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
You
in this game.
And the move.
Oh,
you seem excited by this.
Yes. They need him to play. Give support to the other 2.
How would you describe Gorgie Jane's improvement, Jay?
I think he's been phenomenal. You know, when he was a first-year player at Louisville, Rick Pitino told Bill Raftery and me he thought that Dieng was going to be a great player. We didn't see it at the time, but he did, and he was absolutely right.
79-61, Dieng finishing with 23 as the Ville gets the win. John Calipari's former team a few years ago, Memphis taking on Southern Mississippi. It's all about the segues sometimes. Memphis trying to wrap up the Conference USA title, and Chris Crawford knocks down a whole bunch of threes. He had 4 of the 6 that Memphis hit in the first half.
Yes, he did. He really found his range. This Memphis team is really good, and we just don't know how good. They lost to Louisville after being up 16 home, lost by 9. They've been on a roll ever since the second half of this season.
Defense kept the game out of reach in the second. DJ Steffens putting the D into DJ. No soup for you. Woo, he was flying. 5 blocks on the day for Steffens. Memphis win their second straight CUSA title, 89-73. We'll see Arizona against UCLA next week. College game day, they're taking on Wazoo, and Arizona's defense all over Washington State. Solomon Hill strips one loose. Come up with 3 straight steals. Arizona turning it into points on the other end. Nick Johnson's had a very good year. See Mark Lyons, Xavier transfer scoring, and then Kevin Parham. Kevin Parham was hitting threes out the wazoo, Jay.
Well, Kevin Parham is a versatile player, and he's one of the toughest players on both ends of the floor, not only in the Pac-12, but in the country. Had 19 points in the ballgame, 5 of 6 from three-point range.
73-56, Arizona 23-4, and they'd like to get into that discussion for a 1 seed. Missouri, Jabari Brown has certainly improved. You know, Kentucky didn't have any starters coming back. Missouri only had Phil Pressey coming back, and Jabari Brown has stepped up this year offensively.
Jabari Brown transferred in from Oregon, and he's been especially good in the month of February. He's leading the conference in scoring in the games that he's played in this month, and an outstanding individual offensive player.
You hear the roar, it's because the crowd here at Rupp Arena, their cats are coming onto the floor, and now getting fired up on the other side. See Missouri coming in. Here's the great moment. Sea of Blue, just about full, 23,000 strong. We're just a few minutes away. Missouri getting its Jay Billis Big Blue Shake-like moves on in the tunnel as they get ready to come out and face this hostile environment. You look at this Missouri team, what's been their biggest issue on the road, you judge?
I think finishing games and finishing plays at the end of games. They've been a couple plays away from winning road games. They're 1-5 in the SEC on the road. I think they're capable of winning, and this, I think they have to feel comfortable that if they play well, they can win in this environment.
You know, I called a game that they played against Texas A&M. They had the game won on the road. Pressey had an inexplicable turnover late. Very similar situation last week against Arkansas, too. What do they need to do differently tonight, Digger, other than just stop the mindless turnovers in crucial situations?
I think it's which Phil Pressey shows up. The one that had 10 turnovers when they got blown out in Florida, or the one that had 10 assists the other night when it was a payback game against Florida. But I also think that Alex Oyariaki has got to find a way to dominate inside, again, especially Jay against Willie Cauley-Stein. He's got the experience. He's won a national title. Hey, you're going up against a freshman. Pressey knows that. He's got to run this team with no turnovers.
Pressey's going to be matched up with Ryan Harrell. Ryan Harrell said yesterday, this is the matchup everybody's been waiting for. That might be overstating it a little bit, but it's certainly important for this game.
It's the most important matchup of the game. When Ryan Harrell plays well, Kentucky plays well, and I think that's true also of Missouri. Look, Missouri doesn't have to hit home runs in this game. What they've got to do is hit singles and play solid against a young team that's still trying to find itself after losing Nerlens Noel. And for Kentucky, they've got to get tougher. They've got to make the tough plays, getting loose balls, getting on the defensive glass, all 5 guys, and they can't make simple mistakes as they made against Tennessee, and some of the mistakes that they made against Vanderbilt. Here they're going to go over and double team the post, Jarnell Stokes. It is a weak double team. You've got to be stronger than this. Look at the space that they give. They've got to be shoulder to shoulder and take away the middle of the lane from Jarnell Stokes. Instead, Kyle Wiltshire gets on top of him. Look at all that space. Now, when Jarnell Stokes gets into the lane, then Archie Goodwin's got a choice to make. Does he put his body on the line and take a charge and step in front and protect the basket, or does he bail out? On this particular play, he bailed out. That's not something that they can do in the game tonight against Missouri. Here, against the post, guarding the post, you've got to be on the line, up the line to deny the ball easy entry into the post. Kentucky doesn't do that. It goes into the post. Now you got a loose ball. All right, are you going to get on the floor? Who's going to get this ball? Do you get on the floor or bend over at the waist for it? There are 2 Kentucky guys there, 1 Tennessee guy. Tennessee gets the ball. They get the ball along the baseline and get a drive. What's going to happen? Are you going to go over and take a charge, or are you going to try to give a weak effort to block a shot? Are you going to lay your body on the line and do the tough things you need to do to win? And the answer was bailed out, retreated, decided they were going to try to block a shot. That's not who Kentucky is or has to be at their best, especially without Nerlens Noel in there.
Frank Haith, John Calipari meeting at midcourt. What are you looking for tonight in terms of how Calipari is going to handle this team?
This is when Calipari's at his best. Yeah, we saw what he had last year as far as talent. It was theirs to lose, and he won a national title. He's taking this team right now, and they're playing for now. This is the moment. They're not looking towards the NCAA yet. They know if they play well tonight and get a chance to win this game and get the crowd into this game, this is a big win for them tonight, knocking off Missouri. This is their national championship game tonight with this team, because this team doesn't have the same talent that they've had in the past. He'll coach this game to perfection, and they'll stay in it all night long and try to steal it at the end.
So about national championship game, what you mean is keeping it in perspective and thinking of no farther than the next play. Win the next play, win the moment.
This is now. His future is now, tonight. And that's how he's going to coach. And when he said after they got blown out by Tennessee, there's 2 guys in this team that don't understand what we're trying to do. I think now they understand it when they beat Vanderbilt here the other night.
All right, who wins the game?
I'm going with Kentucky. I smell it, and I think they can do it. It's a must-win. They know it's a must-win, but this crowd will be unbelievable for 40 minutes.
You know, I like Missouri in the game. They have not played well on the road and well enough to win certain games, but I think they're going to play well in this one.
So Missouri and Kentucky getting set to go at it, Rupp Arena. How many bids will the SEC get? Both of these teams in somewhat precarious positions, though Kentucky much more fragile than Missouri is at this moment. The Tigers will try to get just their 2nd road win of the year. Wildcats will try to protect their home turf. Tip-off from Rupp coming after the break.
Big Blue Nation has packed Rupp Arena to the rafters, as always, with their Kentucky Wildcats in need of a win against a very good Missouri team in order to improve their chances of getting an NCAA bid. Welcome to the Infinity College Basketball Tip-Off, and welcome to one of the great college basketball towns in America, Lexington, Kentucky. The Missouri Tigers, new to the SEC, are here looking for a big road win and taking on a Kentucky team that needs a signature win, you would think, as mentioned, to improve their stock. Here's what's going on in the SEC. Florida's on the verge of defeating Arkansas, so they'll go to 12-2. Some crazy games. 3 of them went overtime. One went 4 overtimes today in the SEC. You can see where Kentucky and Missouri stand right now. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale and about 24,000 Wildcat fans here at Rupp Arena. Let's boil it down. What does this game mean to Kentucky?
Well, I think when you look at this game here right now, the Kentucky, it's a must-win. As you said earlier, they have 2 major wins. You could call them major. We're talking Maryland and Mississippi, and those really aren't what you'd call signature wins. This would be a big win over Missouri. Missouri's been very good, except away from home. They're 1-6 away from home. Kentucky must take advantage and win on their home floor if they want to dance, baby, and be part of March Madness.
And, of course, they're going the rest of the way without Nerlens Noel, out for the season with a knee injury. For more on tonight's game, let's go to Samantha Ponder.
Yeah, no doubt that what you just said means that this Kentucky team is a very different team. Coach Calipari told me that they're still looking for an identity and that starts with accountability. So how's this for accountability? Senior guard Julius Mays told me that in the Florida game, during a timeout, he told Coach Cal to take some of his teammates out because they just weren't playing hard enough, weren't giving it their all, and they were giving up. Coach Cal did that. He took those players out, and he asked Julius how his teammates responded. He said, not very well. He said, get used to it. That's what I deal with as a coach. But since then, Julius said this has been a different team. They're responding to accountability. We'll see how they do that out there tonight.
Sam, thank you. Looking forward to tip-off moments from now. This has been the Infinity Tip-Off. Now let's take a look at how some coaches have fun with fundraising in the Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. Welcome to Saturday Primetime, presented by DirecTV. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Missouri and Kentucky meeting for just the 5th time ever. Kentucky has won all 4 of the prior matchups. As we check out Dickie V now, our one-on-one.
You know, Dan, you talk about Missouri, they go as certainly Pressey goes. Has not been very effective on the road. On the road, for example, in the SEC, he has 33 turnovers and only 30 assists. He's a record holder in assists. He plays absolutely on a different level at home. The guy's flashy, can pass the rock. He broke the record for assists at Missouri, broke Anthony Peeler's record, but he's a different player on the road. Late in the game, he has struggled. Now you go to Kentucky. Willie Cauley-Stein has to be tremendous. He was great against Vanderbilt, but tonight he will be tested big time against the best rebounding team in the country. Willie Cauley-Stein without Noel has to be absolutely sensational.
The starting lineups tonight: Phil Pressey, the only starter back from last year. Lawrence Bowers was injured. The other 3, Bell, Brown, and Oriaki, are all transfers. But when they're all clicking at the same time, this is going to be a very potent group. For Kentucky, no Nerlens Noel. You know he's out for the season. 3 freshmen starting: Archie Goodwin, Alex Poitras, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Ryan Harrow is the point guard. Julius Mays, the transfer, is a senior. Missouri right now, Joe Lunardi has them as an 8th seed, but a road win would sure improve their stock. And right now, Kentucky is on that dreaded first 4 out. The injured Nerlens Noel looking on here with Ruff. What a shame for him to lose the rest of the season after the knee injury. The crowd's really fired up. Usually we're talking about Kentucky as a high seed. What's at stake? What's at stake right now is just getting a big win and improving their stock.
Well, absolutely. When you're at Kentucky, you're not playing for the NIT. He can shoot it.
Mays misses the 3.
There's the rebound. They're the best rebounding team in America, 42.4. They're second in terms of differential.
Keon Bell called for the travel. Michael Roberts, Ted Valentine, Ron Groover. Our officials here tonight: Frank Haith, the second year as the head coach at Missouri, a 49-12 record. What a year they had last year with a different cast of characters. Then they got knocked out as a 2 seed by Norfolk State, a 15 seed in the NCAA tournament. A completely different team, but he feels they're starting to figure it out, come together, and that there's still time left for this team to become a really good team.
Well, you know, Missouri getting beat by Norfolk State, that was one of the biggest surprises to me in the tournament. That was Shock City.
15 over a 2. Matchup at the point: Ryan Harrow against Phil Pressey. Harrow the kick. Goodwin misses the 3. Cauley-Stein with the offensive rebound. Can't finish, and it's down to Bowers.
When you talk about Missouri, you talk about Bowers and Oriaki. A terrific tandem as glass eaters. They really get on the glass, Dan.
Kentucky's going to need good efforts from Cauley-Stein, Poitras, and Wilcher on the inside tonight.
And they're going to need a great effort from Harrow trying to neutralize the penetration ability of Pressey.
Here's Pressey, one of the quickest guards in the country. Inside to Oriaki. Bell in the corner, 7 to shoot. The drive, the scoop. Kentucky ball.
Bella's really been sensational since SEC competition. Transferred from out of Pepperdine, scored over 1,300 points. That beautiful campus down in Malibu, unbelievable campus.
Harrow uses the screen and banks home a long 2.
That could be good news to Big Blue Nation. And shots like that go in. Now you know he didn't call that, baby.
Boy, Harrow's got him fired up early here at Rupp.
One of some of the most passionate fans in all of college basketball.
Jabari Brown, transfer from Oregon, misses the 3. Oriaki up with a loose ball. Bowers to Brown, who finishes.
Jabari Brown came the way of Oregon. I mean, they're all Marco Polo guys, man. Get a little unhappy somewhere, move on. Oregon, Pepperdine.
Auburn. Mays spinning, dishing. Goodwin stripped. Pressey out ahead of the pack.
Not going to beat him once he gets ahead of you with that quickness. So quick. As I look at Calipari, his dad, coaching now with the Cavaliers, told me before the games, getting a great paycheck down there, coaching Kyrie Irving. What a sensation he is.
John Calipari talked to us before the game. Looks like he's lost a little weight. He said, hey, you lose games, you lose weight. It's a stressful job.
You don't want to eat.
And there's a push on Pressey.
Tucker Pressey right here. Then he is released into the goal, catches it. Brother Matt played last year. His dad was the point forward for Don Nelson with the Milwaukee Bucks.
And Phil didn't get the height that his dad has, but he's got a lot of ability. Harrow, not this time. And a good job there by Bowers to hold off Poitras for the rebound. Lawrence Bowers, you can see the brace on his right knee. Strained the MCL earlier this year, tore the ACL in his left knee last year. And how about Bowers stepping out for a three?
Tell you one thing, he played well against Florida. They're coming in here with a lot of momentum, beating Florida. Florida beat them by 31 on the road. Didn't have Bowers in that game when they lost.
What a win that was for them on Tuesday night. Bowers had 17 points, 10 rebounds in the win Tuesday. Cauley Stein spinning left hand around and out. The follow good by Harrow.
Nice job by Harrow with the tip. That was an excellent move by Willie Cauley Stein. Showing some quickness inside the 7-footer.
Pressey misses the three. Cauley Stein down with a rebound.
Pressey's 1 for 24 on the road shooting the three. At home, Dan, 10 for 27. That's unbelievable.
And Missouri is a team just 1-6 on the road. So many close losses. 2 points, 3 points. Good win. It's going to be a held ball and a Missouri ball on the arrow.
They haven't been able to finish plays to win games. Texas A&M, Arkansas, and LSU are games they had won. We're going to watch this right here. Good defensive play.
Keon Bell came over with a big scores reputation. You talked about Pepperdine, and one of the things Frank Haith has said is all these transfers are playing different roles on this team than they did on their prior teams, and that's an adjustment for them as well. Pressey has gone to the bench, and now Bell will operate as the de facto point guard for Missouri. Pressey's not out much.
He's giving him some minutes at the point guard spot. He has scoring ability out there as well.
Bell comes up with a gimme, misses it, but the follow goes around the rim and down as Missouri ups the lead to 5. Have to wait and see who they give that basket to.
They really pound the offensive boards, Stan. That's one of their strengths, and that's been a dilemma for Kentucky this year. That's an area we're going to follow. How does Kentucky negate them on the offensive glass?
It looks like Oriaki has been credited with that last basket. Here's Poitras with a jump hook.
I keep waiting for him to break out. You see a lot of potential. He's got strength. He's got size. John Calipari keeps talking to us. They have to learn how to play with unbelievable emotion and intensity.
John Calipari spent a lot of time talking to and about Alex Poitras at shoot-around today, saying they needed a big effort from him tonight. Harrow comes up with a loose ball. And Kentucky had a 5-on-4, couldn't take advantage. Wilcher's in the game now. Got to respect his shooting.
Yeah, he stretches the defense with his range as a shooter.
Adding a little back to the basket recently. And it's a block called on Missouri. Frank Haith is beside himself after that call as we step aside with the Tigers up 3 here in the early going.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And in part by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And the Capital One Cash Rewards Card with a 50% annual bonus.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Back at Rupp Arena here in Lexington, Kentucky. Missouri leading Kentucky 9-6 in the early going. The ongoing situation involving the Miami basketball program, and of course that is connected to current Missouri head coach Frank Haith, something that's been hanging over his head. He officially recently received a notice of allegations from the NCAA and reportedly has been accused of failure to promote an atmosphere of compliance, which is a less serious charge than unethical conduct. You asked him today, how you doing? He said, I'm all good. He feels the worst is over. He can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, you know, I definitely agree with him. I think that if anything, it'll be a slap on the hand. The bottom line is they say from the NCAA office, coaches must be in control of their situation, their staffs, and have to be responsible and accountable. Well, what about the president of the NCAA being responsible for the absolute joke that it's become involving Miami and numerous other situations? My personal feeling, I think right now they should just take all the sanctions that were imposed by Miami, let them be, and move on and get rolling in another direction, because it's absolutely been ludicrous and absurd the direction that has taken place out of the NCAA involving that whole scenario.
And he's talked about how proud he is of his current players, who of course had nothing to do with the situation at Miami, for dealing with the distraction that this situation has been, and still putting out a good effort every day in practice and during games. In Missouri, 19-7, 8-5 in the league, coming off a win over Florida. They've had a good year. Had some injuries to deal with, but everybody is healthy now. Also, Michael Dixon out of the program.
That was a big loss, because Dixon and Presley would have formulated one of the premier backcourts in America.
Ryan Rosberg into the game for Missouri, number 44, 6'9" freshman. Nice strong drive by Tony Criswell, a junior from Oklahoma City, another guy who's missed some time with injury this year.
Well, he gives him great size. He gives him mobility. Another big player. They've been playing basically 7 players. They're going a little bit deeper tonight.
Jared Polson into the game now for Kentucky. Wilcher surrounded. Gets it back. Backdoor feed. Harrell with a reverse.
Nice pass by Wilcher, but a great cut by Harrell. Harrell's really into the game. He's focused. He came to play. He's made several good plays already early in this game.
Well, he said yesterday, he goes, you know, let's face it, this game's about the matchup between me and Pressing. A lot of people said, really? Because Harrell's not had a consistently strong season, as Ernest Ross, the 6th man for Missouri, drives and scores. Harrell's really been up and down. Didn't even start 2 games ago. Didn't score 2 games ago. But you're right. He's off to a terrific start tonight.
Well, nice drive by Ross right there. I think we were all guilty. I know I was, of overrating Kentucky. When basically, here's the pass in the Wilcher. There's the backdoor cut. Defense turned their head. You got to see ball, you man. There it is again. Good execution. Caught the defense staring at the basketball. But let me say this. You know, we rated them all preseason. They were number 3 in America. I didn't take into account the loss of key players. They don't have any veterans to help these young kids. Last year they had veterans. They had Lamb. They had Miller. They had Terrence Jones. They don't have it. It's been all young kids.
And next year, it's going to be a whole new crop of young kids, again, with the recruiting class considered the best in the nation. And Wilcher is... A foul is called. I thought it was going to be a travel called against Wilcher, but a foul is called against Keon Bell of Missouri.
Well, they called the foul prior to the walk-in violation. But, you know, next year at least they're going to have some veteran players returning. There's Wilcher right here. He gets bumped before he walks. And you got Wilcher coming back, you got Harrell coming back, you got Polson coming back. They didn't have one player this year coming to this team that started the game last year, and they're rated 3rd in the nation. Why? Because of John Calipari's success with young players throughout his tenure here.
Polson misses the 3. You did the Maryland game early in the year when he played more minutes than he ever had before, and really might have been the biggest reason why they won that game.
Absolutely, made some great plays down the stretch.
What a find by Pressey. Around and out, though, for Bell.
Pressey with that great penetration, great look. When he's on his game, he's as good as any point guard.
Tough shot.
Had 19 assists against UCLA, but in the last 11 minutes of that game, he really struggled. Look at that quickness.
Speed. And then a great drive from the corner by Ross.
Too many layups, man. Too many layups. He's got to get a TR. Look at that coaching staff. They're really upset with their defensive effort. They're not guarding anybody. It's Matador defense, Dan.
Here's one of the strengths of Missouri. You can't just hope to contain 1 or 2 single players. They've got 6 guys averaging in double figures, the whole starting 5, and then Ernest Ross off the bench as well.
Nobody else in America can make that statement. 6 guys. The difference between a good year and a great year is about 3 or 4 plays late in the game. Yeah. Games they should have won. They lost games they should not have lost. The UCLA game, you got the LSU, the Arkansas game, Texas A&M.
All 4 of those games that you just mentioned, either overtime loss, a 2-point loss, or a 3-point loss, and all of them on the road. Another miss from beyond the arc for Polson with a battle for the rebound, and Oriaki wins it.
Oriaki was a great pickup for them, coming out of Connecticut, eligible right away. Look at that quickness.
Oh, and look at that rejection by Cauley Stein.
Showing some of that potential, Cauley Stein.
Ross doesn't get the bounce. Oriaki with the follow.
They are the offensive glass. They just climbed that glass. You can see why they're second in the nation in rebound and differential margin of difference, and number 1 overall in rebounding.
Out-rebound the opposition by 10 a game, and they get 14 offensive rebounds a game.
You know, I put a tweet up. I said, 2 factors tonight. Can Kentucky contain the penetration of Pressey? And number 2, can they rebound? So far, the answer's been no.
And that's why it's a 9-point lead for Missouri. Cauley-Stein doing his best at the rim, but Oriaki with the offensive rebound of the putback. Missouri up by 9. Back in Lexington, Kentucky, the Wildcats are down 17-8 to Missouri 9 minutes into the game. As Dick mentioned a few moments ago, Kentucky came into the year after winning the national championship last year, but basically a brand new team. Lost 6 players to the NBA, but still because of the recruiting class ranked 3rd in the nation to start the season, but some early losses knocked them out of the rankings. And then, of course, the devastating loss of Nerlens Noel for the season with a torn ACL. They've played 2 games since then. The blowout loss at Tennessee, the win this week here against Vandy. With more, here's Sam Ponder.
Yeah, Dan, I did find out from the Kentucky staff. Still no timetable on when Nerlens will have that surgery. They're still waiting on the swelling to go down before they can decide that. Of course, his family will decide where that surgery takes place. I asked his teammates about his role on the team now. He's still showing up at practice, obviously here today. They said it's tough because he's young, so he's still developing that vocal leadership that a lot of injured guys would have on the sideline. They also said they're always trying to ask him if he needs help or needs a ride somewhere. They said he's just like us. He's too stubborn, won't let us help him.
Sam, I'll tell you one thing. Nerlens Noel probably is ready to go to the NBA, can help clubs blocking shots. The other kids they're charting in the top 17, I can't see it. I can't see them in any shape or form ready for the NBA. These kids need college more than college needs them.
And you wonder if the injury increases the chances of Noel going to the NBA or decreases the chances of Noel going to the NBA.
Well, you know, if you're his family, you got to think about the fact if he comes back to school and, God forbid, has another injury, I mean, you're looking at a big financial disaster. I think there's no doubt you can recover from what he has, and I think he will move on.
But you're right. You mentioned, you didn't name them, but the other Kentucky kids, Cauley-Stein, Goodwin, Poythress. When you look at NBA mock drafts, you see them all as first-round picks.
Oh, first-round, top 15 in most cases. Well, potential. And what happens, Doris Burke talked about it today, you had mentioned, about they're all interested in that first contract, and they don't think about the second.
That's the big one.
After 3 years, they're gone. So, like Norton from that, remember Norton left here? It's not ready.
And that second contract's the one where you really make your money. Oriaki turns it over on a travel. ESPN Sunday Afternoon Showcase features a battle in the Big Ten as Illinois heads to Ann Arbor to take on the Wolverines Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. You spent part of your week up in Big Ten country.
Phenomenal. The basketball level there, watching Indiana, Michigan State. You watch Ohio State and Michigan and Wisconsin. It's a different level, man. Absolutely different level. They're a step above all the other conferences. I would not be shocked that this year the national champ comes from the Big Ten.
You have fun with Magic?
Had a great time. Magic is just a tremendous guy. He and Mike Tirico and Sam, we had a blast here.
Kyle Wiltshire to the line. He's basically doubled his minutes, doubled his scoring from last year. Boy, Kentucky, Cauley-Stein missed a couple. Wiltshire's a good shooter, 84% from the line. He leaves it short as Poythress comes back in for Goodwin.
You know, you mentioned the game with Magic. I want to say this right now. I jumped on certainly Knicks in that game about an elbow to the groin with certainly Zeller, and I was too strong, too tough. And I think he understands that really I jumped on him too hard. I was sorry for it, and I wish I could have seen the replay that I saw the next day, which I did. I think, you know, very difficult. You don't want to hurt anybody. Love kids, and I hate to hurt them, and I want them to know that.
How about Pressey with a little teardrop to extend the lead to 10?
Pressey's doing what he wants here. I mean, think about his numbers on the road. 33 turnovers, 30 assists. I mean, 1 for 23 shooting threes.
Ryan Harrow has 8 of Kentucky's 11 points.
You know, talk about the meeting he had with John Calipari. He said, I want to start.
Cauley-Stein with another block, doing a pretty good Noel impersonation the last couple of games.
He's got great size and agility. They need some threes. They got a guy like Mays knocking down some threes.
They got to get Goodwin and Poitras involved in the offense, too. Wilcher tries a three, and it's Kentucky ball.
Howard's keeping him in the game. He's keeping him in the game. There he is, a little drive on the baseline. Gets the conversion, transfer to North Carolina State. Hey, what about the performance today in North Carolina? Getting better and better and better.
That small lineup that Roy Williams went to a couple of weeks ago with Hairston or Bullock playing at the 4. I mean, they're looking like a really confident team. Wilcher, Bowers got a piece of it. The follow and the foul.
They need that on a play, Chris. Right there was a hustle play. Something they need to utilize that athletic ability. You talk about fans. Look at these fans. I love coming to run. They love basketball. Everybody loves basketball as my friend, baby. I like Poitras right there on the glass. Wilcher going to drive. Ball's deflected. Good offensive rebound.
Well, you watch, you see glimpses of it every now and again. You see the talent, the strength, the potential that Poitras has, but the consistency hasn't been there.
And that's why he'll be drafted high, based on that word, potential. But the danger is, if you don't play, you sit on a pile, and how do you get better? Look at this guy trying to give him that lift. Reese Davis talked about it. First 3 years here, John Calipari did not lose a game at home.
Has lost 2 here this year. Criswell with a long jumper.
First loss was to Baylor. They've been a little disappointment. Baylor, Minnesota's been a disappointment. Tubby's team, we saw them earlier. I was really impressed. They are struggling.
There were some wild games around the country today, including, as we mentioned, a 4-overtime game in the SEC. Tennessee winning at Texas A&M. LSU beat Alabama in 3 overtimes today.
What about individual performances? Otto Porter, 33 points out of 57 and 35,000 Syracuse fans.
The last regular season meeting between those two at the Carrier Dome. They'll meet again in the final week of the regular season down in the nation's capital.
And what about the great performance from Kendall Williams, 46 for New Mexico.
A block is the call before the shot. And, of course, Miami, the #2 team in the nation, losing by 15 at Wake Forest today.
Well, they've really been close the last 3 or 4 games. Bottom line is, when you're ranked in the top 2 or 3, you're going to be on everybody's bulletin board. So you got to really come to play and focus. And that's why I've always respected those on top, like Carolina, Duke, and Kentucky's. They get everybody's best shot.
That foul was the first on Kentucky in this game. In and out on the 3, and Goodwin down with the rebound. Momentum continuing to shift towards the Wildcats.
Out of control. Totally out of control.
And that's been Goodwin's biggest problem. The talent is undeniable. The decision-making leaves a lot to be desired sometimes.
Well, decision-making, he's got to really work on his range as a shooter. His three-point shooting in the SEC, 1 for 21.
Missed one earlier tonight, so now 1 for 22 in SEC play. There's another block. This one is on Cauley Stein. That'll be his first.
Can't afford to lose him, though. If he goes out, they're in trouble.
Polson will return. And Goodwin, is it going to be Goodwin? It is. He'll get a seat on the bench, probably in large part due to that last drive.
Well, it's 1 against 5. And I can't emphasize enough how much we did not weigh the factor. Look at the cut with the ball. That's a simple layup on and out of bounds. You can't allow that. Can't allow that.
So Polson at the point. Goodwin on the bench. Harrell on the bench. Wilcher spending a lot more time inside so far tonight. And he'll draw the foul.
Nice post move. Went down inside. Posted up strong. His dad was really good posting when he played.
7-point deficit for Kentucky. John Calipari with Samantha Ponder when we come back. Back in the rub, Missouri leading Kentucky 21-14 during the timeout. John Calipari spoke with our Samantha Ponder.
Coach, Coach, you said you needed to see talk and toughness early. How would you characterize what you're seeing so far?
Not rebounding. You're not winning this game unless you rebound. And I've taken guys out. I said if I had Alex at 3 because Archie won't rebound at that position. Well, they're going to tip balls and play that way. Someone's got to go get it. But we missed some open shots. We missed a couple layups, and we're hanging around. So I'm all right. I mean, it's like let's just begin to play a little bit.
You also said it was about guard play. How would you assess your guards?
Not bad. We're okay. We're not bad. They're guys getting in the lane a little bit, doing some things, but we're okay.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, so far, John Calipari's getting contributions from some of his players. Ryan Harrow has 8. Alex Poythress has 5. And the rest of the team has just 1 point. Cauley Stein hasn't scored. Goodwin hasn't scored. Mays hasn't scored.
I'll tell you one thing that's a real key. Missouri has 10 field goals, Dan. 9 are in the paint.
Yep.
9. If Noel was present, you don't have those 9 in the paint. That's a major difference right there. Noel's shot blocking ability, the best shot blocker in America. They're second now in shot blocks. Kentucky going down a notch. St. John's is number 1, by the way. You got to get a statement win. Like Villanova went out today, got a statement win over Marquette. Joining wins over Syracuse that they have. Win over Louisville. I mean, those are signature wins that Villanova's going to be in a dance.
And after this game for Kentucky, if you look at the rest of their regular season, they're home to Mississippi State, which is a team down at the bottom.
Oh, come on. Now they'll blow them out.
Of the SEC. Then they go on the road to Arkansas. Remember, Florida lost at Arkansas. They go on the road to Georgia, and then they finish up at home against Florida.
Arkansas's got some talent, and Arkansas at home, very, very tough. Kid Young can really play for them. Powell.
Good anticipation by Bowers, and then Harrow commits the foul.
Complicated situation. Picked up a foul.
ESPN College Basketball is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at WatchESPN.com and with the Watch ESPN app. And tonight's game and all Saturday primetime games the rest of the season can also be seen in stunning 3D on the ESPN 3D network.
By getting a call against somebody like Oriaki from Connecticut, eligible immediately, played on a national championship team, played on the Jim Calhoun. What a plus that is for this team. Eligible right away, had a 22-18 night against Mississippi in a win.
Yep. Goodwin back into the game, and Paulson will sit down. We mentioned all 6, or the top 6 Missouri players, all averaging in double figures. All 6 of them have also had at least one 20-point game this year. So on any given night, any one of the 6 going to be the go-to guy.
Very tough blending in a bunch of new guys. I mean, these are guys, but the one thing is transfers, except for Oriaki, they've had a year in the system.
And Oriaki played AAU ball with Pressey back in the day a few years ago. As he goes to the left hand, it doesn't get the bounce. So there is some familiarity between the two. Again, just dominating on the offensive glass. And Kentucky fortunate, Missouri couldn't convert.
Tell you one thing, Kentucky, though, as John said, they're hanging around.
Mays, maybe the most consistent player that Kentucky has had. A transfer who went from NC State to Wright State, now here to Lexington. Harrow the miss. Missouri ball.
Not going to get many second and third shots against Missouri.
In transition, Pressey finds Bowers.
Bowers running the court. You know, he was tentative when he came back the first 5 games after the MCL. He became very tentative. And remember, the kid also missed the whole year with an ACL.
Yep.
So you start to worry. And you take a little bit, you don't play maybe as hard as you can. But had the great game against Florida, and that should give him a lift.
Mays trying to turn the corner. Pressey almost took it away. Now Harrow from the baseline, in and out. Oriaki the rebound.
That's been a problem for Kentucky all year long. Having steady, good, solid guard play. And then you're not winning in college basketball at an elite level without consistent guard play.
And of course here, as much as anywhere else, they've been used to elite point guard play the last few years. There's another Kentucky foul. This one is on Mays, and John Calipari doesn't agree.
I mean, you would have never thought preseason that Kentucky, as you can look at the passing ability of Pressey, and there's the trail man, nobody back, in transition. You'd have never thought, you're thinking at this time of the year, will they make the tournament of March Madness? I mean, that's the level, that's their goal here. and it's coming down. This game is major.
And again, to reiterate, Joe Lunardi, our bracketologist, entering this game had them as one of the first 4 out, the top line on the first 4 out. So if 68 teams make the tournament, he had Kentucky as team number 69 right now. And they are down 9 here at home to a good Missouri team that Joe Lunardi at the moment has as an 8 seed.
You know, Dan, you don't get many opportunities this year, and it goes in cycles. The SEC this year from top to bottom has not been what it's been in the past. So you don't get many opportunities to play quality competition. And when you do, you got to take advantage of it. And this is a night that they can take advantage and really get a really solid win for their resume.
Oriaki piling up the rebounds. That's 9 already for Missouri's big guy. And you mentioned, Dick, the 2 most notable wins that Kentucky has had this year. They're over Maryland very early in the season, and then Ole Miss, their BPI 44. Both the BPI and the RPI kind of have them right squarely on the bubble. You would figure they would need a signature win between now and the end of the year. Now, John Calipari says it's not a must-win because if they win this one, then lose the next 2, you know, then it doesn't do any good to win this game. But the fact remains, they got to do something noteworthy between now and Selection Sunday.
Well, it's a must-win, and it makes the next games important. Lose here, the next games don't become that important because the only other real shot they have to really get a lift is to beat Florida, and that's going to be tough. Florida's one of my VBDI #1 seeds right now. If I was doing a #1 seed.
Steal by Bowers.
It's like a guard play again.
And Goodwin hustling back, knocks it out of bounds. I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Tennessee when you're looking at the SEC. Tennessee winning again today. They won that 4 overtime game.
They're getting better and better. Quanzo Martin, a great guy. There's a good defensive effort by Goodwin.
Look out, BMAC. It's our cameraman under the basket taking the charge. The good news for BMAC is he's a lot bigger than Archie Goodwin, so I think he's going to be all right.
Well, BMAC's going to go to the free throw line. Look at the big fella. Look at the big fella.
Harrell the foul.
Hey, my #1 seed would right now be the Vital Ball Dome Index. I would go Indiana. I would go right now Gonzaga. I would go Duke. And I would go Florida. And Michigan State, very capable if they beat Ohio State and they beat Michigan. To me, you got to start thinking about them as on the first line.
You wonder if Michigan could still make a run at it, if Arizona could make a run at it, maybe if somebody runs the table in the Big East, could they make a run at it?
Well, Louisville certainly had that one stretch where they lost 3 games. I still think they're going to be a danger team. See, they don't want to hear that here in Lexington. But Rick Pitino and Louisville, come March Madness, you're going to put them as a team that can win 6 in a row.
You know, there are 24,000 people in this building. I think our ties are the only red thing anywhere here in Rupp Arena. Missouri has extended the lead to 13.
They were down 13 against Florida and came back and won that game. Billy Donovan said the difference was Pressey, his leadership ability, and he had a horrible game against Florida. First had 10 turnovers.
Cauley Stein gets inside.
They got a foul before.
Yeah. And still, over 15 minutes into this game, Ryan Harrow and Alex Poitras are the only 2 Wildcats who have made a field goal.
You know, Willie Cauley-Stein obviously will be drafted based on protection because you can't teach the size he has, the mobility, has good hands. I mean, he was a wide receiver in football.
Yeah. You know, and the dilemma, and as you well know, almost every kid who's got a chance to go decides to go. They want to go. But one of the dilemmas is they look at the kids that John Calipari has coming in next year.
Right.
And there's a chance if they don't go, they could have a lesser role as a sophomore than they had as a freshman. So in that sense, they almost have to go. Boy, Cauley Stein with another block.
Great timing on that block shot.
Harrow the lob and the finish for Poitras.
Nice play right there. Good transition. They got to get a little consistency. This crowd's doing their part. This crowd is doing their part. Talked to Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio before the game, and he said must win, and I agree with him.
Turnover.
Got to score after turnover. Center the ball. Center the ball.
Harrow with a wide open look.
Center the ball. Harrow's really done a good job here tonight. Transferred from North Carolina State. As the transition, as the block shot by, good job by Willie Cauley-Stein. Now here's Poitras with the little jam, the lob up on top. Right open jumper at the foul lane. So you want to bring the ball. You want to bring the ball to the middle of the floor. You can go right or left with it or shoot the jump shot.
Cauley-Stein getting it done at the defensive end. Harrell and Poitras continue to be the lone contributors at the offensive end.
I've decent job before the game. I see lost more games already this year. Probably lost the last 3 years.
This is one of the few places where an 18-8 season could be seen as a borderline disaster. This is not only a passionate fan base, this is a demanding fan base.
Well, you know, nothing wrong with the NIT for certain teams. But when you're a program that invests their program like they do here, they're not thinking about going to the NITs. One thing about Missouri, they've been a better second half team than they have been a first half team.
Bowers baseline. Off the back of the rim, gets it back, and a fresh 35 for the Tigers.
Tell you one thing, they were 35 last year without Bowers. With Bowers, they would have had some kind of inside game. They lost a lot of key players. Denman, English, Redden, Ratliff.
Initially ruled as Missouri ball. Now the call's been overturned. And it'll be Kentucky ball when we come back from this timeout. 28-19. Frank Haith's Tigers leading the Wildcats. Such a big game, especially for Kentucky, trying to solidify their chances, but they are down 9 late in the first half.
Max Bretos here with your studio update. Number 5, Florida lost to Arkansas earlier this month. They got their revenge thanks to 14 points from Patrick Young. With Miami losing, Florida, courtesy of Joe Lunardi, moved to the 1 seed line. Back to Dan and Dick.
And back here in Lexington, the Wildcats are down 9 to Missouri during the timeout. Missouri head coach Frank Haith with our Sam Ponder.
Coach, now that you've seen how they're going to play you defensively, where do you see the most opportunity for success on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, we can't settle. We got to keep moving the ball, play inside out. We got to attack the paint. You know, I know right now we're afraid we got to keep going in there and keep putting the pressure on them.
Obviously, Poitras and Harrow doing most of their work offensively right now. What do you need to do against them?
Well, they scored in transition. We just got to get back and set our defense.
All right, thanks, Coach. Guys.
Well, he's got to be happy about this. They've got 11 baskets. 10 of them have come in the paint. They are going to their strength.
I got a tweet from somebody. And they said, obviously, a Louisville fan. They said, well, just want you to know, we beat them by 23.
Wilcher the handoff to Harrell. Harrell's got 10. Poitras has 7. Wilcher's got a couple of free throws, and that's the offense tonight for Kentucky. Until now, Julius Mays with a deep 3.
That's the first 3 of the night. They were 0 for 7 up to that 3. Missouri's 1 for 7 shooting a 3. That 3 will give you a big lift, give you some momentum.
And a Kentucky foul on the baseline drive. It's going to go on Polson.
Talk about a big shot right here. There's a little pass from Wilcher. Mays lets it go.
Mays has been solid lately. 46% from three-point range and better than 12 points per game his last 6.
Experienced player, came out of Wright State, eligible to play right away.
Deion Bell's going to come back in for Missouri. Ted Valentine having a conversation with Ryan Harrow and Phil Pressey as Ernest Ross steps to the line.
My friend, I saw a little clip of the Harrison kids coming here. Wow.
That good?
Wow.
That good.
That good. That good.
Kentucky's already signed a 6-man recruiting class. 5 are very highly rated, and they're still in the mix for Julius Randle and Andrew Wiggins.
Can you imagine if they ever got those 2 guys with the 6 they got?
Harrow will head to the free throw line.
Harrow's doing everything he can right here to keep them in this game. Look at that class. James Youngs from out of Michigan. They tell me he is phenomenal. The Kid Lee getting better and better. Look at Johnson. I mean, look where they're ranked.
I saw Dakari Johnson at practice today. He is a large individual. And if they get either Randall or Wiggins, and who knows if they will. Wiggins making his official visit here Wednesday against Mississippi State. Those are two of the top players in the class.
Absolutely. I saw both of them play on a high school level. I've met both kids. They're really solid, good people, but they got other people after them. I mean, you're talking about right now, I mean, Randall, you got Texas, you got North Carolina State. We were there when he was there visiting.
Yeah. Kansas is in on both of those.
Kansas, too. Yep. Kansas in a hunt. It's all great programs. Must be nice when you're a kid. You can pick up the phone and go anywhere you want. I mean, they're not waiting for the letter to come that says, oh, you've been accepted or rejected.
Now, the shot clock did not start, so now they put it down to 30, and they'll give Missouri the ball. It doesn't feel like Kentucky should only be down 4.
You just read my mind. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep,
I'm looking there. I mean, they were getting dominated on the glass, and we're looking, they're only down 4. Well, that's because Harris really played well.
Pressey, too strong.
Had a layup right there.
Boy, Ted Valentine, he didn't mean to, but he started turning to his left as if he was going to say Kentucky ball, but then his arm went out to the right saying a Missouri ball, so he made enemies with about 23,000 when he did that, but it didn't look like the right call, although they just got to look on the replays here inside the building, and naturally Big Blue Nation doesn't agree. Ross, another strong drive. Well, he looks more like a football player than a basketball player.
Yeah, very physical. Double-figure score coming off the bench. Gives them offense immediately.
And the lead back to 6 for Mizzou. Poitras, yes!
That's big. Poitras stepping up.
Jabari Brown misses at the other end.
Shooting the ball too quickly right there. You know, psychologically, in Missouri, you keep hearing about, we can't play on the road, we can't play on the road. And eventually, maybe that gets the best of you.
Just 1 and 6 on the road, with 4 of them being heartbreaking defeats. Harrell the kick. Mays the 3.
Howard did a great job right there, getting right to the seam, driving the ball, creating an opportunity. They came up empty.
Pressey spinning.
Are you serious? Got to convert that.
And finally they do. Pressey of all people.
There's 39-inch vertical jump.
Listed at 5'11", probably closer to 5'9", but a huge basket for Missouri.
But he's playing well, man. He's playing like 6'9". The way he penetrates.
Preseason SEC Player of the Year and a Cousy Award candidate right now as the nation's best point guard. Harrell. And here comes Pressey with numbers.
He's quick now. He's quick.
Wilcher down with a rebound. And he is fouled. Coming up on the UPS halftime report, Reese J. Digger, as the Gators exact revenge today on Arkansas. And a wake-up call for Miami. They are beaten at Wake Forest by 15. Two of the more notable games in a bit of a wild day around the country.
Tell you one thing, Wake Forest has really played well at home. Almost beat Duke, lost the heartbreaker there to Georgia Tech, but I believe they're like 6-2 on their home floor.
Wilcher with a pair. Now he'll come out. Pauly Stein will come in to play defense.
Right in the game, he told Sam, he said, we haven't really played as well as we're capable of, but we're hanging around. And that's what they're doing. They're hanging around. Said one thing with Kentucky, you want to make them play 5-on-5.
Pressey with a rainbow 3.
And that's really a rarity.
Look at this.
Nobody back.
Pauly Stein, it'll count.
Nobody back. I would be so upset if I was Frank Hay. Nobody gets back. Pressey 1 for 23 coming into this game, shooting threes in the SEC on the road.
Missouri, by and large, getting it done inside, dominating in the paint, but Kentucky with a spirited comeback in the last several minutes turned a double-digit deficit into a 4-point game at the half. When we come back, Reese, Jay, and Digger deliver the UPS halftime reports.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2013 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award, and AT&T Rethink Possible.
Welcome back to Saturday Primetime, presented by DirecTV. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale, Samantha Potter, about 24,000 other folks here at Rupp Arena at Lexington as well. A game that Missouri led by as many as 13 with 5 minutes to go in the first half, but they're only up 4 going to the second half.
Well, they're up only 4 because Ryan Harrell's really played well. Not only has he scored 12 points, he's had 3 assists, only 1 turnover. So he's given him solid point guard play. And that was essential according to John Calipari. So we must get great guard play at the point, especially to negate some of the ability of Pressey.
Phil Pressey in the first half, 9 points, 3 assists. Ryan Harrell, 12 points, 3 assists. Missouri with 12 offensive rebounds in the first half. That can't continue if Kentucky has a hope of winning this game. Pressey reaches in, knocks it loose. Poitras gets it back. Shot clock did not reset. Goodwin wide open, knocks it down. The first 3 that Archie Goodwin has made in the last 12 games. He hit him his 14 in a row.
He was 1 for 21 in SEC competition. Unbelievable. Everyone's smiling. Look at this. He's smiling. 1 went down. Think he shot a few in practice.
And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game.
Now remember, they've had a lot of rolling walls when you talk about Missouri. Steele, give it up. Give it up. Oh, he says, forget it, I'll give it up. That's when he's at his best in transition. But he should have given the ball up for an easy way. 5 quick points by Goodwin. Kentucky fans, Big Blue Nation, getting excited. So we want to dance, man. We want to dance.
Bowers passed it up. Bell for 3. Kentucky ball. Goodwin's feeling it. And Oriaki down to the rebound. That's his 10th already. Pressey ahead to Bell, who cradles and finishes.
Well, Bell, a real strong athlete. Gets out in transition, gets that layup. See, if it opens up the court, that really plays into the hands of Goodwin. He likes to go up and down and slash.
Harrell lobbing it up there is fouled as we check in with Samantha Potter.
Yeah, guys, Coach Calipari happy with the effort there during halftime, but not happy with his defense, specifically in the paint. He said 11 of their 14 field goals came from within 3 feet. He said we're not being tough enough in the paint. We've got to stop Pressey from penetrating.
Nice turnaround by the 7-footer, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Kentucky's back on top.
That was impressive right there. I told him at halftime, you got a world of potential, son.
Oriaki with a response.
That's experience, winning experience. One played part of that national championship team with Kemba Walker.
You know, Frank Haith, as the floater goes for Harrell, he didn't like Oriaki's defense when Cauley-Stein scored. He sent Ryan Rosberg to the table. Then Oriaki scored at the other end of the floor, and he called Rosberg back to the bench. Pressey. Poitras down with a rebound.
They'll take their chance with Pressey shooting threes.
Wiltshire getting set to check in for Kentucky. The Wildcats have the lead after trailing by as many as 13 with 4:55 to go in the first half.
I like the way they're playing on the poise. Score the basket. score the basket. Howard's playing a lot of poise out there at that point guard slot, not trying to force action. Frankly, it's got to be a little concerned here. They're going to get fired up. And watch right here to steal. Watch Goodwin said, I'm not going to give it up. I'm taking it right in. I'm slamming that baby. Up and away.
Goodwin did not score in the first half. He's already got 7 points in the second half. Pressey gets inside. Dumped down to Oriaki, who is fouled.
Can't allow Pressey to get into that 3-second area. If he gets into that area, he's going to create opportunities for his teammates.
You mentioned the 19-assist game he had at a UCLA game. They lost in overtime. A 19-point, 19-assist game, but a couple of costly plays late. And Pressey, again, talking to us at Shoot-Around today, he said, I have been involved in losing games in every conceivable way that you can lose them on the road this year. Just a late bad decision here or there. He's already, as you can see, the all-time Missouri record in assists, and truly is one of the most talented point guards in the country, and as important to his team maybe as any player in the country is.
Well, you know what I like about him? He doesn't make excuses, doesn't make alibis, doesn't blame anyone. He broke Anthony Peeler's record, and he's putting numbers up as an assist that I think are going to be unbreakable basically when he's done playing.
Great team last year. Big brother Matt Pressey, Kim English, Marcus Denneman, Ricardo Radcliffe. Michael Dixon with the team last year had an outstanding year until they ran into Norfolk State and lost a 2 versus 15 game in the first round. Completely different cast of characters this year, and it seems like they're in good shape for an NCAA bid, but they got to finish reasonably well. Mays with a 3. Kentucky by 4.
Shot down with good rhythm, good offensive execution, good offensive efficiency right there in that half-court game.
Oriaki muscles it up and in. Too strong for Wiltshire.
Can't allow him to get in there like that. You got to beat him to the spot. You can't let him post you that deep in a lane.
Holly Stein getting ready to check back in. Bowers on Wiltshire, who's just as likely to be outside as inside offensively. They won't let him get a shot off.
They win this game, Joe will know they'll be changing that list. Guaranteed. They will be first out.
They'll move from first 4 out to last 4 in. Poitras. Somehow didn't travel. Spun back to the left shoulder and finished.
You know what I like about him tonight? Also like about Harrell, they're playing aggressive basketball. We have not seen it. You and I have had him several times.
Pressey still going. Jabari Brown with a corner 3.
Great look by Pressey, and Jabari Brown's been silent here. Been really putting a lot of points on the board for them.
Harrow drawing the foul on Pressey. We've got a timeout on the floor. What a spirited beginning to the second half here in Lexington.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2013 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award, and Mazda, introducing the 7-passenger Mazda CX-9, reimagined for 2013.
A little bit earlier today over at Memorial Gym, Dance Blue, as Kentucky students and at least one very special guest helped raise $1 million for cancer research. How did you find your way into the middle of that crowd?
I'll tell you one thing, anything to raise money for cancer, I'm going to be there. These kids are going to be close to $1 million dancing. You know and I know we must fight that disease. And we're going to do it with the V Foundation. And I say congratulations to all the schools that are doing their dance marathons, raising money to battle that disease.
And you found out via Twitter, right, that they were doing that over there, went over?
Yeah, I was getting a lot of tweets. And they said...
Third foul on Phil Pressey.
Yep. You know, I was getting these tweets. Joy, which you think you need to stop over here. So on the way to the arena, I told the guys, let's stop there with the kids. And I had a blast. I was like about 12 years old.
Let's see how things change for Missouri now with Pressey on the bench. Keon Bell will be the point guard. Archie Goodwin having a big second half. Kentucky 7 of 8 from the floor in the second half. Goodwin launches, line drive short, rebound Brown.
See, he made one, so now he thinks that he can make another. That's not his game. His game is driving and slashing.
And Ryan Harrow, who just went to the bench for Polson, getting ready to check back in, maybe for Goodwin. 5 minutes into the second half here in Lexington. 1-point lead, Kentucky. Bowers left hand, no. Oriaki yet another rebound. It's a held ball, and it'll stay with Missouri.
Oriaki got really hit right on the inside. I think sometimes the big guys don't get a break. They're working on the glass, really dominating on the offensive boards.
No, looked like ball. Oriaki wanted a foul. It's Polson who goes to the bench as Harrow checks back in. And now Poitras will come back in as well for Wiltshire. There's one of the big stats of the game. 14 offensive rebounds for Missouri, just 4 for Kentucky.
Well, we sort of expected that because Missouri is ranked #1 in the nation rebounding. Terrific rebounding basketball team. You can see it here tonight.
Kentucky ball. Frank Haith doesn't agree.
Poor execution by his kids on bouncing the ball into the basket.
Well, Frank Haith started with a tie. At some point, he shed that. John Calipari stopped wearing ties a few weeks ago, and the going got a little bit rough for Kentucky. Wanted to loosen things up. Cauley Stein, though, even had him playing dodgeball Tuesday at the end of practice before their Wednesday game against Vanderbilt, just to try to relax everybody a little bit.
Yeah, he said, I want to have a little fun. In fact, he was supposed to play wiffle ball yesterday, but he canceled it.
He said they were sufficiently relaxed. He didn't need to play wiffle ball.
What a job he has done everywhere he's been. John Calipari has won big time. I know people say, well, you know, they took down the banners at Massachusetts, at Memphis. The NCAA cleared him in every case, and he was not responsible. People don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear it.
Harrow's had a big night.
Played a lot of points.
Goodwin gets inside again.
Great drive. He split the defense. That's his ability to drive, not shoot the perimeter shot. He's a slasher and a driver.
9 for Goodwin, all of them in the second half. Count the basket.
Nice two-man play right there. Nice drive, and Oriaki's going to finish.
It's a nice play by Keon Bell. Getting the ball to Oriaki, who's having a big night, especially on the glass. Already has a double-double. Now give him 11 points and 12 rebounds with a lot of time left in this game.
But he's a double-double guy. He really has had a terrific year as far as double-doubles go.
Averages just over 10 points per game and 8.6 rebounds per game. Has 8 double-doubles, now 9, including tonight on the season. And we are tied at 49. Mays wide open. And a long rebound down to Harrell. That's a ball Missouri's got to come up with. Harrell behind the back. Fancy dribbling off to Goodwin. The kick to Mays. He'll try it from the left wing. And Missouri comes up with it this time. Bell. Bullet pass ahead to Bowers.
Nice catch by Bowers to convert that. On the previous possession, Kentucky had some really good ball movement. Reverse the ball.
Timeout on the floor as they trade the lead back and forth here at Rupp. Back in Lexington, Missouri, back on top, leading Kentucky 51-49. After the Nerlens Noel injury and then the blowout loss to Tennessee, John Calipari thought he had to do something to relax his team, so they held an impromptu game of dodgeball at their practice facility Tuesday, the night before the Vanderbilt game. It's John Robick, one of the assistant coaches with a headband and the high socks and the whole getup. And John Calipari's right in there firing away as well. And it seemed to relax everybody. Whether that had anything to do with them playing a little bit better Wednesday, who knows? But they did beat Vanderbilt 74-70, a rebuilding Vanderbilt team, granted, and it was here at Rupp, but it seemed to at least loosen everybody up for a little while.
Well, you know, bottom line, and having a little fun, but you got to be Vanderbilt on your home floor.
Yeah.
This is not one of Kevin Story's better teams, even though they're giving a great effort every night. He's getting the most out of their players, but they lost so much personnel from last year. Nice cut.
Harrell. Tip back in by Poitras.
Poitras right there with the tip. Very active. He and Goodwin here.
Both Poitras and Harrell each with 14 to lead Kentucky.
See how long he goes with Pressey on the lineup.
Pressey on the bench with 3 fouls. Oriaki surrounded. Gets it out of there. John Calipari yelling for a travel. Ernest Ross misses the 3. Poitras hammered as he comes down with a rebound.
Jabari Brown's really been quiet. He's their leading scorer. 2 for 5 so far. They got to get him some looks. He can shoot the ball. Transfer him out of Oregon.
Goodwin. Mays. Goodwin. Yes!
Can you believe he's made 2 of those tonight?
He's made more threes in this game than he's made in the rest of the SEC season.
Yeah, his 3 disappeared for about 2 months. That's a big plus for them.
Jabari Brown, nice find. And Oriaki is fouled and will be at the free throw line when we come back.
That was a good foul right there to put him on a foul line because he had a sure slam dunk. Watch Poitras right now with the offensive rebound and tip. Here he comes. Nobody blocks him out. And there's the tip in.
And how about Archie Goodwin finding the range from beyond the arc, putting Kentucky back on top.
Oh, jeez.
Back at Rupp Arena with Samantha Potter and Dick Vitale. I'm Dan Shulman of Kentucky leading Missouri 54-51. Academy Awards tomorrow night, as you all know, on ABC. And Dick DeFeese got his own picks, both in the movie category and the basketball category.
Well, you got to go with Daniel Day-Lewis. I got to go with Oladipo. Right here goes Spielberg. What about Larry get a job? He's done in Miami. Hey, best picture, Argo and Indiana, baby. Right now, the best team. Hey, Brad Pitt, went to Missouri. He went to Missouri right now, and he's getting ready for the Oscars. He and Angelina. Angelina's getting all dressed. She can kill us about the game, but Brad's watching the game.
Let me ask you a question, speaking of acting. Where's your friend Ashley? Where's Ashley Johnson?
I know Ashley's not in the house. Hey, you know what? She's terrific. I love Ashley. But let me tell you this. She's probably busy doing a movie somewhere. Cheryl Crow, another Missouri grad. I saw her last week in concert. She had the place rocking, man. She could play that guitar. She had the place rocking down in Van Wezel, down there in Sarasota, Florida.
Alex Oriaki to the line for Missouri.
See, you didn't know I go to all these shows.
Oh, I know you go to all these shows.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see Smokey Robinson in a couple of weeks. Love his Motown sound.
By the way, they looked at that last basket by Archie Goodwin during the break as Oriaki gets ready. They ruled it a 3 initially and kept it at a 3 after looking at replays.
He's going to make some decisions with Pressey. I think he's waiting to the 10-minute mark.
One of 2 for Oriaki, and Bowers back into the game for him.
Oriaki came the way of Connecticut. What about the job Kevin Olly's done with that program? He has shown flat out tremendous potential as a leader because this year is a tough situation, motivating, no tournament to play in.
And that's the reason why Oriaki decided to transfer, didn't have to sit out a year as he came to Mizzou. Poitras having a nice game tonight for Kentucky, driving in and draws the foul.
He's playing a lot more aggressive than I've seen him in the past. And they're executing their half-court game.
John Calipari spent a lot of time, as we mentioned earlier, talking to and about Alex Poitras at shoot-around, saying, you're going to go inside, you're going to drive, you're going to have a strong game, you're going to make shots, really try to encourage him. He's trying to find a way to untap the potential that this young man has.
Certainly dominated on a scholastic level. See, I think he came too easy for a lot of these guys. I could just imagine Goodwin running up and down the court, scoring at will on the high school level.
Calipari said he's relying a little bit on Julius Mays, even though it's his first year playing in the program. He is a senior. And Mays is becoming a leader, getting on his teammates. And Calipari said that Mays is getting some of the same blank stares that he gets every now and again from all these freshmen. Bowers trying to back down Poitras. kicks it out. Crowd likes the defensive effort.
He's did a good job with their defense. A good switch, good step out.
Bowers.
Good effort by Kentucky there on that defensive sequence.
And after 30 seconds of defense, a foul on the Wildcats.
John Robick to John Calipari's right.
And here comes Phil Pressey.
Works real hard as an assistant. Dave Lato, by the way, mentioned Connecticut on the sideline there. Assistant coach, coached at Virginia, DePaul.
Oriaki, left hand. Cauley Stein with yet another block. His fifth.
Cauley Stein's making like Noel in that lane. He says, "Thou shalt not enter thy lane on me." The big guy right there. Get it out of here, baby. Get it out of here.
The nation's leading shot blocker out for the season for Kentucky. Cauley Stein doing a pretty fair impersonation here tonight.
Got a low two-man screen and roll there.
Poitras. Got it!
Out of the triple threat position, put the ball to the left hand. Went to the goal. Remember, this game is big for Kentucky. As we look at Noel on the sideline, these fans know it's big. John Calipari knows it's big. The players know it's big. And it is big, Dan Sherman. It is big to them. They can give you all the talk they want. Bottom line is they need this W.
They are squarely on the bubble, and we are moving towards late February, and a win over a team that is considered to have a tournament resume would do a world of good for Kentucky. Pressey pulls up for three.
Shot that under great control. Again, we documented how he came in here on a road 1 for 23 shooting threes in the SEC. 1 and 6 there overall on the road.
His second three tonight. He's got a dozen. Missouri back within 2. Good patience by Kentucky. Have not been out of control on very many occasions tonight. Harrell to miss. Cauley Stein with a big rebound. He's got a man. It's Mays.
What a terrific play by Willie Cauley Stein. Not only did he get the offensive rebound, he was under control and made a terrific backdoor pass to Mays for the layup.
Pressey. Poitras a rejection, but then it's turned over to Oriaki. And wave it off. An offensive foul.
Wow.
Going against Missouri.
I don't know about that call.
It's on Criswell. And Frank Haith.
He's puzzled.
Looking for an explanation.
He's puzzled. And don't forget the job that Frank Haith did at Miami, too. He's responsible for a lot of those kids that are there.
Keep an eye on 3. There's a push. Criswell with a push in the back. Good call.
He did. You're right.
Pushed Cauley Stein.
Yes, sir. Good call by Mr. Groover. And my bad.
Poitras and Criswell really battling down low. Wiltshire back in for Kentucky. Mays is open.
He can shoot it. He can flat out shoot it. Free ball, baby. A free ball.
One of the big differences in this game, Kentucky's now knocking down shots. They've made 4 threes in 6 tries in the second half. There's been a 20-point swing in this game from the 5-minute mark of the first half. Kentucky's gone from down 13 to up 7.
You mentioned 4 for 6. They were 0 for 7 shooting threes earlier in the game. The 3 will change the momentum big time. Got some guys that can make threes sitting in the crowd. Used to play in Kentucky. Jamal Mashburn, Derek Anderson. Terrific talents.
Pressey to Criswell. And Criswell's going to the rim.
Nobody rotated over. Nobody came to the basketball. The basketball's the most dangerous thing on the floor. 4 guys standing, watching, taking pictures.
And the lead down to 5. That'll quiet the crowd at least momentarily.
See, what I like about is the leadership role we're seeing out of Harrell here. He's communicating. He's getting the ball to the right people.
And a turnover. ESPN's Sunday Afternoon Showcase features a battle in Big Ten country as Illinois heads to Ann Arbor to take on Trey Burke and the Michigan Wolverines. The Sunday Afternoon Showcase at 1 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN.
Michigan looking to bounce back, want to do a little slide because the schedule was so tough.
Pressey. Bowers looking inside, tipped away, and saved.
Pass was telegraphed. You could see that pass coming. Defense just stepped in the passing lane.
8 minutes to go. 5-point lead. Mays has hit some big shots.
You got to find him. You got to make him beat you off the bench. You can't let him square his body and shoot the 3.
Remember, at the beginning it was just Harrow and Poitras, but then Goodwin and Mays, Cauley-Stein all chipping in. Goodwin! Spectacular spinning drive.
That's his game, baby. Going to that goal. These cats want it. They want it. They're playing aggressive basketball.
Harrell. And a held ball. It will be Missouri's ball when we come back. Archie Goodwin was scoreless in the first half tonight. He's got 14 in the second half.
Look at that spinning move, splitting the defense. Scoring, count it, Mr. Goodwin.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Let's take a look now at tonight's game track brought to you by Buick. Kentucky's gone from 13 down to 7 up in the second half. Archie Goodwin having a monster second half, and Kentucky shooting the daylights out of the ball here since the break. And when Archie's awfully good, isn't he, Dick? When he's on, he's really on.
Well, that's what the Pro Scouts like. They like his potential because of his quickness, explosive ability. He can make threes. I mean, he's been in a real drought shooting the 3 for the last month and a half, but he's made 2. But here's this game, spinning, slicing, going between defenders.
Monster second half for Goodwin. 20-point swing in the game since late in the first half. Missouri just 1-6 on the road this year. Can they respond? Pressey behind the back, knocked out of bounds, still Missouri ball.
It's a real tough time right now. Missouri's got to find a way. 7 minutes on the clock. Kentucky's done a good job keeping their leading scorer, Jamari Brown, from scoring big time. If they're going to score, it's going to be his penetration.
Or the jumper.
He's had a solid game.
Yep.
Even though he got in foul trouble. Making shots.
Pressey with 14.
Now they got to do some work on the defensive end. Kentucky's executing their half-court game better than I've seen them in the games you and I have done previously. They've been a transition team. If they had to play 5-on-5, they were really struggle city.
Goodwin tries to lay it off for Cauley-Stein. Knocked away. Pressey.
Hasn't been able to convert. He's had 3 or 4 opportunities on layups.
And now again another good decision. They'll slow it down, get the ball into the hands of the point guard.
Oh, Goodwin's quoted all over the paper. You talk about bulletin board. He's out taken by guards. My point guard over there, point guard.
And Ryan Harrow's delivered one of his best games of the season so far tonight. Especially early. He carried them in the opening minutes when nobody else was scoring. Poitras bowling his way inside.
Just very strong. Used his physical strength. Squared his body to the baseline.
And you see it, and you wonder why you don't see it more with the strength that he's got.
Well, we've seen it tonight from both. When you're talking about Goodwin and Poitras.
Pressey to Bowers, and a foul. Cauley-Stein.
One thing, Missouri, a good free throw shooting team, shooting 75% as a team.
That's his second of the team's fifth.
Inside the restricted area, so an easy call. Second foul on Cauley-Stein. And 2 free throws for Lawrence Bowers. Lost all of last season with a torn left ACL.
He's missed 5 games this year with the MCL.
Yeah, on the right knee. He's got the brace on the right knee. Each game, they hope, getting closer and closer to the player that he is coming back from that injury.
Came back the last game with about 13 at home. Second half with about 11 minutes on the clock. He came back and beat a good Florida team. See if they can come back here with 5:39 left on the clock.
You can see he had a big game against Florida after scuffling, coming back from the injury. Makes 1 of 2 free throws.
Not playing really solid team defense. That's been their problem here in the second half.
John Calipari gives Harrell a breather. Polson's back in at the point for the Wildcats. Mays nearly lost it and then commits the foul.
Some of the execution right there, and that's been one of their strengths in the second half. They've been executing so well. Not here now. Bobbles the ball, just simply doesn't catch the ball, then he fouls.
3rd on Mays, 6th on the team. Harrell back in for Polson. Missouri's committed to 5 fouls. 5:24 to go. Missouri with the ball down by 6.
Harrell, that matchup now with Pressey really big. Got to keep him out of the lane. Can't let him get in the lane.
Bowers misses the 3. Offensive rebound, Oriaki.
Strength of Missouri getting on the glass.
Pressey for 3.
What a big-time 3 that is. What a big-time 3. That's why it was preseason. The SEC Player of the Year has not been the Player of the Year in the conference because of his struggles on the road.
Just a 30% three-point shooter. He's 3 for 5 tonight.
These 4 minutes so big to Kentucky basketball.
Kentucky got a switch. Wiltshire looking to take advantage of Brown in the post. And now John Calipari is going to use a timeout.
Struggled in the last 3 possessions.
ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, a season-long spotlight on the games that will impact the tournament, continues next Saturday. Miami will be at Cameron. Duke looking for a little bit of revenge after getting blown out by the Hurricanes earlier this season.
Good start by Miami, playing tough on the defensive end. It's all working for Miami now. Look at this shot. This is humiliating, embarrassing.
The Miami Hurricanes not only beat #1, they destroy #1. You and I were there, Dick. It was a stunner. The margin of victory for Miami over then #1 Duke. Miami losing today, by the way, by 15 at Wake Forest. You'll be at Cameron along with Dave O'Brien and Doris Burke for the rematch.
Yeah, that rematch will be very interesting. I'll tell you one thing. You got to believe that's been circled on the Duke calendar. You know, Miami was down there touching the floor defensively. I think that didn't sit well with some of the Duke people. But they got a veteran team, good guards, and Larkin and Scott.
Cauley-Stein off for Poitras, bobbling it, blocked from behind, and it'll stay with Kentucky with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Have really struggled in the last 3 possessions, not getting the player movement, ball movement. Don't have much time, gotta let it go. And they get a foul out of it. They get a foul out of it. Give the Kentucky kids credit.
And I think Frank Haith would take it. He'd rather send Cauley-Stein to the line than give up a jam.
Yeah, because he's going to struggle on a free throw line. He's been struggling all year. Had a little visit here during a break from Joe Kraft, who built the basketball facility here for Kentucky. Very generous to us with the V Foundation. And also John Schnatter. People know John. John is Papa John. He is Papa John. He gave me a card. I get a, look at his card.
Give you a coupon.
Wow. He gave me a coupon. He said he got a few dollars off on a big pizza. Why did he send this one over here?
Bowers to the bench after picking up his 4th. And Cauley-Stein misses the first, just a 40% of free throw shooter on the season.
They look pretty good on that one. Hey, if I have one complaint to Kentucky, I'm going to get it off my chest. the press room, the food. Are you kidding me? A program that has this kind of money? Popcorn for the media? Popcorn? Popcorn?
You'd like a little Papa John's pizza in there?
Hey, come on now. John Calipari. The dollars they spend here. Popcorn? Popcorn? He's even upset. He doesn't want to eat popcorn. He wants some spaghetti, some linguine. All right, now we go to the free throw line. He's big here. Oh, you got to make those.
But they get it back with yet another offensive rebound.
That has been their strength all night long on the glass.
What a move. Oriaki, off-balance shot, and it goes. Great strength by Oriaki.
Also a great look, good vision by Pressey with the little reverse pass over the shoulder.
2-point game under 4 minutes to play.
And that's been a nightmare for Missouri. On the road, the last 3-4 minutes has been a nightmare for them.
Poitras. Criswell on him. Cauley-Stein keeps it, now kicks it. 5 to shoot. Mays launches and hits.
He's feeling it, man.
Five-point lead, Kentucky.
How big was that three? How big was that three? Shot clock running down, and Mays delivers, a veteran player.
Oriaki again from Pressey.
That big guy's got to love playing with Pressey. He's got so many assists with his great vision, his penetration ability. He's really the 3D guy. Drive, draw, dish the rock.
Oriaki now with 16. Pressey with 7 assists and a timeout called by Kentucky with 2:53 to play. What a game this has turned into. And as you said, what a huge shot Julius Mays hit for Kentucky on the last possession.
It's big. The shot clock's going down. He's got a defensive player right in his face. And he delivers a little smile on his face. Feels good. Now watch Oriaki. We're going to watch a little screen and roll. There's a little dump down. And there's the finish by the former Husky.
Oriaki with a big night. 16 points and 14 rebounds. What a game this has turned into. A 3-point game. 2:53 to go.
There's been a lot of good games today in the SEC.
LSU beating Alabama in triple overtime. Tennessee beating Texas A&M in 4 overtimes. And Tennessee, it should be 93-85, that score, over Texas A&M in a 4 overtime. Tennessee playing some good basketball right now. LSU, as mentioned, the triple overtime win over Alabama. Georgia defeated South Carolina in overtime. Florida over Arkansas. Ole Miss picked up a win. Vandy won. And this one's still to be decided.
Trying to get some good spacing. Poitras really wanted the ball down. It was posted strong.
Goodwin's got other ideas. Surrounded and fouled to take us to the under 4 media timeout. Goodwin to the line when we come back to Lexington.
Take it back to Rupp Arena.
Max, thank you, and we certainly send our thoughts and prayers to all of those injured today at the race down at Daytona, hoping that everybody makes a full and speedy recovery. Such a scary thing to see. Back to basketball. This is the latest from Joey Brackets. He's got Kentucky, as you can see, on the wrong side of the ledger right now, one of the first 4 out. But Joe Lunardi has said that with a win tonight, he will move them to the last 4 in, which presumably means Temple would move onto the other side. Still some basketball, still 2-3 weeks of basketball left until Selection Sunday.
There's going to be some changes. Yeah. The VBDI, though, Vital Broadcom Index, agrees with Mr. Lunardi.
I think that's a good decision on the part of the VBDI.
Oh, yeah, really good decision.
Because Joe Lunardi gets it right.
He really is sharp as can be.
1 of 2.
Game could come down to the free throw stripe.
Look at this. Pressey coast to coast. The kick to the trailer. Bowers.
Has great vision. He knew the trailer was coming. Many guys would have forced that shot.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody quicker in the country from one end of the court to the other with a basketball than Phil Pressey. And it's a 2-point game.
Also has the ability to make sure he makes the play and completes the play. Good vision.
Goodwin into traffic, loses it.
3-on-1, 3-on-1.
Keon Bell ties the game.
Poor job in that execution by Goodwin, trying to force the action.
Pressey came up with the steal. Missouri's tied it.
Missouri struggled late in the game against Arkansas. They were up 4 with 34 seconds, and they lost it. Texas A&M, they led with 53 seconds, and they lost it.
Brown right in the grill of Mays with 12 to shoot. Mays again. He's hit 4 threes tonight, and he's going to the free throw line now. Bowers has fouled out, and Mays, I believe, is going to get 3 free throws.
Well, for all you young kids out there, he uses the ball fake really well. Watch him right now. A little ball fake. There it is. Gets the defense to react. Some of the guys are not schooled fundamentally.
Fifth-year senior, too, who just committed that foul.
The end of the game has been a nightmare for Missouri.
1-6 on the road. The officials are looking at it to see should it be 2 or 3 free throws. I'm sure it looks like it should be 3.
See, I love that ball fake. See that ball fake? Gets the defense to react, and there's the contact.
You know, for Kentucky, Dick, the story year after year is the freshmen and the draft and the potential. But sometimes it's a guy like this, a transfer, a senior, an unheralded guy who, when you need somebody to make a play late, when you need somebody to settle everybody else down, sometimes this is the kind of guy who does it.
Well, he's a stabilizer. The guy that's been there. This is a little nerve-wracking time for Kentucky because, you know, beating Mississippi State is one thing, but they've got to beat a team like Missouri.
Kentucky has missed its fair share of free throws tonight. Mays knocks down the first.
Got to make sure if you're Kentucky to try and stay in front of Pressey. Can't make him make the turn on you, get numbers. You know the ball's going in his hands.
2 of 3.
Got to stay in front of him now. Here he is, Pressey with the rock in his hands. Harrell trying to double him up to get the ball in his hands.
Gets it back. Off to Criswell and a foul. Willie Cauley-Stein called for the foul, and 2 free throws coming for Criswell.
John Calipari can't believe it. Thought it was a good defensive effort. There's the penetration. There's the kick out. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Cole. I think he's got an argument. Doesn't matter what's going to win the argument.
First one for Criswell. Wiltshire in for Goodwin.
Are we going to hit the overtime here, too? It's been overtime city for the SEC.
That's right. A total of 8 overtimes played in the SEC today. A single overtime game, a triple overtime game, and a quadruple overtime game already in the books today in this conference alone.
Well, if it goes overtime, certainly Kentucky has a little break with Bowers out of the game.
Two big free throws for Criswell, 58% on the season. He ties the game.
Well, the team is really excellent. He's one of the real subpar free throw shooters. They shoot 75%, ranking the top 10 in the nation. Oh, he missed him. Harrell's wide open on a cut to the goal.
Cauley-Stein. Loose ball. Missouri ball. Pressey coast to coast for the lead.
Real strong drive by Pressey. The difference there, the veteran player and a young player. Young player turns it over, the veteran player converts. His daddy just jumped up and said, that's my guy, man. Paul was quite a player. Played at Tulsa.
19 points, 10 assists for Phil Pressey, who again this morning talked to Sam Potter and myself extensively about the things that have gone wrong for him late in games on the road. Whether it was an ill-advised shot, whether it was forcing something that wasn't there, whether it was trying to make the perfect pass instead of the easy pass. He said he has learned from these. This is not to beat up on him. He's one of the elite point guards in America, but he's the first to admit he has struggled late in games, close games, on the road this year. But he's having a heck of a night, taking on some leadership there in the huddle, and he knows what this game means to his team.
Well, you can't solve any problem unless you define the problem and unless you admit you have a problem. And he's done that. He said, hey, I've not played well on the road. I really admire him and I respect that fact. He's a leader and he's a winner. He's a kid that's had a terrific career. Look at him right here. Look at the emotion. Right here. Think. Let's play with our head. We can win this game. I can hear him talking in there. That's leadership right there. That's what you want from your star player. The desire to want to win and do it by example.
By the way, John Calipari just used his last timeout. 55 seconds to go. Kentucky ball. They've got the arrow as well, but they're down by 2.
How big are these 55 seconds to Kentucky fans? Say all you want about dancing. They need this win. Absolutely need it on their resume. Frank Hague, 30-5 last year. A bunch of new guys this year. Lost Michael Dixon. He's at the towel out. He's making a little Jerry Tarkanian. Wow, a little Jerry Tarkanian.
8-2 run to Missouri. Kentucky ball.
Now you want to play good team defense. You don't want to foul.
Hand off to Mays.
Gotta get over those screens.
Mays into Cauley Stein, who ties the game.
Nice two-man play. Mays created that opportunity. And Cauley Stein showing a world of potential here tonight.
Timeout, Mizzou. They've still got 2 left.
I see a lot of potential greatness in this kid, Willie Cauley Stein, tonight. If he just listens to the coaches, I hope he comes back to school. I hope he doesn't go on that word potential, because bottom line is he needs so much playing time. Needs coaches working with him on an everyday basis. Do you agree? Seriously.
I agree. It's like a lot of kids, it'd be in their best interest, but most of them go. You know that.
Yeah, it's
most
ego.
Of them go.
There's no doubt about it. A lot of times it's ego. It's the money, too. That's only you become an instant millionaire.
Nerlens Noel, out for the season with a knee injury, was projected as the likely first pick in the NBA draft before the injury. Chad Ford, last I saw, still had him in the top 5, I think 3rd.
Right.
The top 5 picks he had on ESPN.com, all freshmen. Sign of the times.
Ben McLemore was up there. They better start getting Victor Oladipo a lot higher. I mean, come on now. Magic Johnson said the other day, coming of another Dwayne Wade.
Missouri ball with a 5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Ooh, tough inbounds pass for Pressey. Goodwin on him.
Goodwin right now got size, but that's the ability to stay in front of him. They're going to go to a 1-4 set. 4 along the baseline. They're going to hope he can beat you off the bounce.
They can run the clock down. They got a few seconds extra to go get an offensive rebound if need be.
And that's their strength. Remember that. Their strength is the offensive rebound. They're trying to get penetration and have to kick the ball.
Got the switch.
Somebody. Get help.
And the drive. And Poitras got a piece. Mays. May not have known it. He had a couple more seconds to play with to get a better look. But he put it up, missed it, and we're headed to overtime.
SEC. It's the 9th overtime in the SEC today. The 9th overtime. Look at this. Going to use his left hand on the drive. He got a piece of it, Poitras. See, he was hoping that Kentucky did a good job there. Oh, wide open is Goodwin. Wide open was Goodwin on the right wing. They make the pass to Goodwin. You got to dunk.
And Pressey reaching for that right elbow as he makes his way into the huddle. Now back live, still holding his elbow from time to time as we are headed to overtime between Missouri and Kentucky in an extremely important game, especially you would think for the Wildcats, given that they don't appear to have quite the resume that Missouri does in terms of NCAA tournament consideration.
Well, usually the home club gets that little edge when you go to the overtime scenario. However, Bauer's out of the lineup right now. I mean, both these guys coaching like you cannot believe. It's all about the current moment. can guarantee that.
One of the big storylines heading into this game, the status of Kentucky, the injury to Noel, the blowout loss at Tennessee. They come back with a Vanderbilt win. But have they done enough, or what do they need to do over the next 3 weeks in order to get into the tournament? And a win tonight would certainly help their cause.
Well, you know, they get 2 opportunities to play 2 teams who are ranked, you know, in pretty good shape. Certainly Missouri, you know, right up there. But Florida gives them that great opportunity. But Florida's going to be tough to beat. I don't care where they play.
So the 4th game in the SEC to go into overtime today. One went triple overtime, one went quadruple. The first time since 1979 that 4 games in the SEC all went into overtime on the same day.
You know, talk about Kentucky missing the NCAA tournament. They've missed the big dance twice since 1991. In 91, they finished 22-6, but were not eligible for the tournament. In 2009, they finished 22-14 and lost in the 3rd round of the NIT to the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. So they're accustomed to dancing.
Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale, Samantha Ponder, overtime in Lexington. Lawrence Bowers is fouled out for Missouri. Nobody else has 4 at this point.
Presley has 3.
Turnover.
Bad play right there. Lack of communication.
Boy, every now and again, somebody in a white jersey just makes such a low percentage play. Criswell couldn't finish, and here comes Harrell.
No chance for that to go in. Did not balance.
Harrell the pull-up. In and out. Harrell was the scoring star early tonight for Kentucky. Has cooled down as Pressey goes to the left hand and gives Missouri the lead.
I love the way he changes speeds. He goes from one speed to the other, and he keeps that defense really off balance.
21 points, 10 assists tonight for Phil Pressey.
He's really played well. Forget about those road rules. He has played well.
And away from the ball, a Missouri foul. I think it's Jabari Brown.
Take a look at Pressey right now. Now watch this. Now he's going to turn that speed on, and he utilizes the left hand really well. Gets that good spin.
Foul actually on Oriaki, his 3rd. And Mays is going to the line for Kentucky.
Mays in the line for 1 in the bonus.
1-1 for Mays.
He's made some big shots tonight. Found that 3 in the second half. First half they were 0 for 7.
Use as much of the rim as you can, but it went down. You know, Julius Mays, again, talking about other guys with bigger resumes, bigger names, played 39 minutes in their last game over Vanderbilt, led the team in minutes, and he's played all but 38 seconds of this game tonight. He's become as indispensable as any player on this team.
He's the stabilizer, plays hard, he can make shots. There's no substitute for guys that can make shots.
Bell, left hand, too strong, follow no, Ritter in the rebound.
He's off to the races.
Yeah,
he's off to the races. He gets totally out of control. He doesn't know yet when to pull the ball back.
Fair bit of contact here with Pressey, too. And the rejection by Brown.
Brown has really been quiet offensively, the leading scorer.
John Calipari will tell you, when Goodwin's one-on-one, he likes his chances, but a one-on-two, one-on-3, one-on-5, he doesn't like his odds so much. Cauley-Stein, and a foul.
Oh, made a great move right there, just didn't finish it. Made a terrific move, attacking the rim. He's going to be a special player, this kid. There's no doubt in my mind. He's going to be a special player.
Oriaki, his 4th.
He's just developing the skills that are needed to be an inside player. Another year at college would do him wonders. It's an area he's got to really work on, that free throw line. See, that really hurts.
Yep.
Play a game like this, I love it. Makes my cold, man. I have a miserable cold, and it makes it feel a lot better when we're in a game like this.
You're a gamer. Pressey using the screen. Pull-up jumper is good.
He's
23 for Pressey.
He has made some big shots for them from the perimeter and from driving along different angles.
Mays off the back of the iron, gets it back, puts it in.
Nice play right there, Mays. Good offensive rebound. And then he finishes and finalizes. He's also out there talking, communicating. He communicated with Coach Calipari, so we got to play harder.
And he's defending Pressey. Pressey gets the switch. Turnaround jumper off balance. Stein to the floor, Kentucky ball.
Tremendous hustle right there. John Calipari's got to really praise that when he looks at the video. 7-footer diving on the floor for the loose ball.
That reminds me of a line Jay Billis used on game day this morning. For Kentucky to win tonight, they've got to be more blue collar than blue blood. And Cauley Stein was right there.
He was definitely blue collar right there.
Patience now, shot clock to 10. Goodwin looking for Cauley Stein. They don't connect, and Missouri's got it back.
They forced it in. They turned that over about 3-4 times, trying to force that action. The lob up on top.
And Frank Haith will use the timeout. This is another in a series of crazy, exciting games that we've had on Saturday nights.
The party begin. Hoosier hysteria.
The Irish win in 5 overtimes. And you just never know what's going to happen. That game at Notre Dame for 39 minutes, it looked like they had no shot. Louisville was in control, then it went 5 overtimes. This one looked like Missouri might blow them out in the first half. Kentucky fights back. Missouri forces overtime. Another fun night.
Well, you know, Kentucky was down, I think, one time 13 in the first half. But right now, you're getting late in the game. No secret what Missouri's going to do. The rock is going in the hands. I'm going to give you the rock.
Give me the rock.
It's going into the hands of Mr. Pressey. You don't have his speed and his ability to penetrate. But it's going to go in his hands, and they're going to try to beat you off the bounce, and he's going to try to find somebody to come over, give help, and drop it off for a layup.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of ball screen action, and Pressey's been finding both scoring and finding people tonight. 23 points and 10 assists for the outstanding point guard. And Kentucky fighting back, as Dick mentioned, after being down by as many as 13 late in the first half. Julius Mays with a game-high 20 for the Wildcats.
The guy that's really been silent, I've heard so much about his shooting ability and scoring ability, is Jabari Brown.
Brown tonight 2 for 5, 7 points. Oriaki 16 points, 15 rebounds, playing with 4 fouls. Lawrence Bowers has already fouled out. Kentucky's got 4 players with at least 14 points. Hoyters, by the way, 19 points, 7 rebounds, although quieter the last 10 minutes or so than he was most of the night.
Dan, you and I have gone about 4, I guess, Kentucky games. This is by far the best we've seen them play.
Tie game, 2 minutes to go in overtime. Goodwin again defending Pressey.
He's looking for somebody to come up and give him a screen.
They get the ball out of his hands, but he'll get it back. Boy, Goodwin's running around a series of screens. Ross, Bell, still loose. And finally a held ball. It will stay with Missouri.
Tell one thing, these teams really getting after the basketball. And that ball goes to the deck. It's like football time out there. They're really going after that rock. Look at that there. Look at it there. Got a new football coach here in Kentucky, Mike Stoops. Everybody excited about him. He came from Florida State. Had a good recruiting class. Mark Stoops.
Pressey to inbound. 7 to shoot. Oriaki trying to give it back to him. Pressey had to force it up.
Good defense right there by Kentucky. Mark Stoops, the coach, I think would like to get Wooly Quilly-Stein as a wide receiver.
Yeah, 7-footer was a wide receiver in high school. Imagine that.
Let's see what they do here. Little two-man game up on top.
15 to shoot. Harrow, nice cut. Goodwin.
Terrific execution. Great pass by Harrow and the ability of Goodwin to finish the play. Moving without the basketball. They lost on it.
Less than a minute to go. Pressey got caught in the air. Turns it over.
Foul.
Yep. You couldn't hear the whistle, but a foul was called on Criswell.
No question. Teddy Valentine made that call quickly.
And think back to Phil Pressey and what he told us about late game situations, learning from them, wanting so badly to execute, get his team a win on the road, got caught in the air, and turned the ball over.
He turned it over with 24 seconds left in the game. Missouri led against Texas A&M. They end up losing 70-68. With 68-67 of a leader, he turned it over. Turned it over to Arkansas again.
2 free throws for Poitras, 70% on the season.
Family loves it. Got the big fat head up there. You ever see the Dickie V talking fat head? So that's my guy. Look good right there, stroking those two. It's big. They better score in this possession and score quickly.
And Pressey does to make it a 2-point game. Frank Haith will use another timeout.
This team could have a great year. If you look at Missouri, if they're able to win close games. They have lost 4 heartbreaker games on the road. As Pressey with the little jumper, they've lost 4 heartbreaker games on the road, late game situations, or they would be phenomenal when you're talking about their record.
And that's been the story of their season, struggling in true road games. They are 1-6 on the season on the road. 4 of those 6 losses were either in overtime, by 2 points, or by 3 points. And in all of them, they had the lead in the last minute or so and couldn't hold it.
Now you're talking about winning those games. I mean, you're looking at an incredible record. It's a difference winning close games of a good season and a great season.
Kentucky with the ball and the lead. Each team with a timeout. Kentucky's got the arrow.
Missouri's going to get the ball back. They got to stop him in his possession.
Pressey trying to deny Harrow. And a foul on Jabari Brown.
A dangerous pass right there.
And Harrow looks like he's limping as he makes his way down to the free throw line as we get another look. Easy call. He came down kind of awkwardly on his left leg, grimaced a little bit, and then a hobble down to the free throw line.
Talk about so many games, comes right down to that charity stripe. Kentucky making their fouls late in the game.
Oriaki back in for Criswell. Harrow 63% on the season.
The Poitras look really good in the last 2 possessions on the free throw line. Must score quickly.
Pressey for 3. Almost got his own rebound. And now they've got a foul.
Kentucky in great shape to get a big win. Joe Lunardi getting ready to slide them in. And Mississippi coming up next. So they got 20 wins. Mississippi State got beat today at home. What was it, 72-31?
Yep, by Vandy.
Wow. And they got to go on the road to play Kentucky. Getting the 20th win for Mr. Calipari, something he's accustomed to. And then they got a couple of road games. Arkansas and Georgia.
Before they finish at home against Florida.
Florida loss will not hurt them. The thing that's going to be really important to them are those road games with Arkansas and Georgia. But this at least puts them in the building for a chance to play in the big dance. I don't think it locks it up, Dan. I don't think it locks it up at all.
Still a long way to go. 6 consecutive free throws in overtime. 2 by Poitras, 2 by Harrow, 2 by Mays.
And that's how you win. Make those free throws late.
Brown misses the 3.
Let the celebration begin. This baby is going to be Kentucky's. That's almost intentional there.
Mays is cramping up. Mays can hardly walk right now.
Another heartbreaking story for Missouri. Came in 1-6 on the road. Yeah, he's cramping up.
Look at Mays. He can hardly walk.
You feel a lot better when he strolls on the campus, a big man on campus.
Oriaki just fouled out. Mays is going to try to stay in the game to shoot the free throws.
Why is that anybody else shoot him? He's just saying, I want to shoot those, baby. Seven in a row, my friend.
One of the most talented young players in America, reduced to the role of a cheerleader after his knee injury. Has seen an exciting game here with Rupp tonight. And Kentucky continuing to knock down free throws in overtime. Mays out, Polson in.
8 straight free throws. That'll take you to the winner's circle. A big win finally for Kentucky.
How about 24 for Mays? Pressey with a lay-in. Timeout Mizzou.
I mean, miracles can happen. Well, boy, to be a miracle to win this. Dean Smith used to pull some miracles down in North Carolina late in the game.
It's a full day of NBA action tomorrow on ABC and ESPN. At 1 Eastern on ABC, Kobe Bryant and the Lakers look to get back into the playoff race, a little bit closer to the playoff race when they take on Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs. And then a doubleheader tonight on ESPN. It'll be Memphis at Brooklyn and then Chicago at OKC. The NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC and NBA Sunday presented by State Farm on ESPN. And if you're watching the NBA, you're watching a lot of former Kentucky players. They've got 21 players in the NBA right now. That's the most from any school.
They got a few more in next year as well. They're going to give that job in Brooklyn to P.J. Carlesimo on a regular basis. He's done a terrific job with that team. Down here, though, this was the moment Kentucky has been really looking for. Beating somebody of quality. Whenever they had a chance so far this year, they've come up short. Whether it be Notre Dame, whether it be Duke, whether it be you name them, Florida. The bottom line is they took advantage tonight, and this is the way you earn a right to be in a tournament. You knock them out by winning big games.
Down 13 late in the first half, up 6 with 16 seconds to go in overtime. Julius Mays leading the way with 24. Alex Poitras with 21. Archie Goodwin with 17. None of them in the first half. And Ryan Harrell, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists as Mays is back out on the floor. Cramps and all.
Got to try to steal. Got to foul real quick. Can't let that clock run down.
Wilcher, good shooter. Off to Goodwin. And Goodwin will be shooting free throws. He's 65% on the season. But as you said, Missouri would need a miracle at this point. Sports Center is coming up next here on ESPN. Full coverage of the accident and the ensuing injuries at Daytona today. And also a look at all the action. And it was a crazy day around the country in NCAA basketball.
Tiger played really well today. St. Mary's in California beating Creighton. Dellavedova, really an outstanding player down there at St. Mary's.
Yep. That's a big win for them.
Big win
for them today to solidify or improve their stock.
Gonzaga's been so good in that league.
1 of 2.
What about St. Louis? Better start giving them some plaudits.
Road wins at VCU and Butler. They'll be ranked when they come out on Monday.
They're going to be Dickie V's team of the week, too.
Yep.
The Billikens. Jim Cruz deserves that job, too. They've won 9 in a row.
Bell. And Kentucky will win it.
Celebration. They feel good. These Cats fans, Big Blue Nation, they love their Cats, baby. They are passionate. They are loyal. They are proud. Sometimes to a fault where you can't say one little word and let it jump on you and let you know about it.
The Wildcats get a critical win, beating a good team in Missouri. Needed overtime to do it, but they get it done 90-83. For Dick Vitale, Sam Ponovan, our crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for watching. Sports Center's coming your way right now with John Buccigross and Robert Flores.